I am here today with my guest, Mark Kendall. Mark is the original guitarist and key songwriter for long-running rock and roll band Great White. Great White has sold over 10 million records, been nominated for a Grammy, and played to millions of fans around the world for 40 years now. Great White is it's a long time, isn't it? Great White set to take the stage with a new singer at Orange Loop Fest on June 11th in Atlantic City, along with a host of other dates that you can find on officialgreatwhite.com website. Mark, this you got a lot going on, man.
Man. We got a new singer, Andrew Freeman. We just got done rehearsing in Las Vegas. This guy has a full range. He can sing anything. He did Stick It like note for note. We're going, wow. How in the heck do you even know that song? And he said that when he was a teenager, he was involved with something called Metal Shop. And they used to get all kinds of songs up this metal shop, and Stick It was always in the rotation. So he's known it like his whole life. But he did it like perfect. I'm going, okay. We can get into the deep cuts now because this guy can sing anything. And he really delivers our songs with full power, just like the record. It's baffling, man. I didn't know people could sing like that anymore.
Oh, man. I tell you, I saw him with Last in Line a couple of times now. Andrew is a powerhouse. He is a strong singer. But there's, let's start at the beginning with this. I noticed a new band photo with Andrew. How long has he been in the fold?
Well, he sat in with us, I'm going to say maybe 8 months ago or so. We played with Foreigner up north, and he blew our minds. Yeah. So right then we kind of knew we wanted him, but because he was doing something and we were really busy, not enough time to like rehearse and stuff like that. Then we saw this window of opportunity. He was totally into it. There's a lot of different sides to his voice too, which so he's not like one dimensional. Even though he delivers the Last in Line thing, it's just like in your face metal screamer. But he can sing a ballad like, Satan. I mean, it's killer. and so that's what I like is his voice is so well rounded. And the guy he vibrates at a frequency like that you like to be around. Like he's just this chill dude. He said no nonsense, no ego, no weird trips or anything. So you feel the brotherhood, forming straight away. And that's what we like. We're into being a band, all of us together, go places together, do things together, and just have that, just enjoy each other and no weird trips, because we've been through it all. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like if somebody's a little funny, it's like, really? They still, it's almost like if you see cocaine, you go, they still have that? you know what I mean? And so any kind of weird head trip or something, you just don't understand it. But so we're just loving it. And we cannot wait for the fans to hear this guy sing our, some of our big songs. And we're real pumped about making new music because I have a lot of stuff. Michael has a lot of stuff. We've done things together and just haven't quite put it together. But now we got this guy that can do anything. Yeah. Oh, believe me, man. We want to get something with him on it because it's going to be ridiculous.
That's cool. And like I say, I mean, I've seen Andrew sing and Last in Line, and it's just phenomenal, his strength and his charisma and everything else. One thing I haven't seen from him is that bluesy swagger that Great White has in so much stuff. Rock Me and stuff like that. And
he has it.
Heartbreaker. He's got it. I'm dying.
He has it. I'm telling you, he can riff like Paul Rogers if he wants to. This guy's so versatile. He sings "Rock Me" like, I mean, you know, he's a little ahead of the game. He's probably been hearing it on the radio for, you know, who knows how many years. But, but I mean, he just delivered it like he really did his homework with the song. You know, I was so surprised how prepared he was. Very professional in that sense. So
awesome.
When he launched in on the first song, I was getting chills.
That's
I was almost getting emotional because it was so good that I wasn't expecting it to, I was expecting to work into being that good. You know what I mean? I didn't know he was just going to knock me over and me have to take a break or something, you know, to recoup.
Right out of the gate.
So, right out of the gate, he just blew our minds how prepared and how well he sang the tunes.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, we're just thrilled, you know.
Good.
I don't know what to say about that, except it's very exciting.
That's good. That's great. It's exciting for all of us, for sure. Now, was it a band decision? You know, you have Mitch in the band. It seems like everything's okay. You know, he's got that rock star look and everything. He's a really polished kind of singer, though. You know, was it just a band decision that it just wasn't a fit? How, you know, why not Mitch?
Yeah. We were kind of going in separate ways in the sense that he was always by himself. He didn't really talk to us much. He just kind of showed up, and that's just not the way a band works as far as we're concerned. And you know, he's a wonderful singer. I don't think he's used to him not being in full control of everything because he's been a solo artist for so many years.
Right.
He's a sweet guy. I really liked him. I think a few of our songs are a little out of his range, so it's a little bit of a struggle. But nothing real heavy. No big huge fights, or you know, nothing ever came to fisticuffs, if you will.
Right.
So it wasn't a case of that. It just you know, we canceled the gig. Well, we were going to have to cancel a gig for him to do a Van Halen show, tribute show. And we thought that was a little bit, he gave us warning about this.
Right.
But when Foreigner canceled because of some COVID thing, we rescheduled the date, and it happened to be fell right on where he was going to do that Van Halen show that he warned us about. Right. So regardless, it was probably pretty tough for him to get out of it, but it ended up being a blessing for us because we got Andrew to fill in.
Yeah.
And when we heard him do that show, and the whole band and Foreigner was on the side of the stage going, "Holy God, man! You know, this is pretty good." You know, so that was nice of them to acknowledge we had a good show. But so that's when the seed of the idea was like, man, God. But I don't think Mitch was upset about it. He likes his solo career. He talked about, I saw his post where he said, you know, get ready for my Van Halen experience, and I'm going to be doing an acoustic show, storyteller show, and all this stuff. So I'm encouraging people to go check him out when he gets in your area, and you know, wishing him to do well, you know.
That's great. I love to hear things like that, you know, and you know, amicable splits and things like that is always great. Cause you guys are like, you know, it's like family. You know, we don't want brothers to fight and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So it's great to hear that. You know, and everybody's you know, the elephant in the room is you know, you're getting a new singer. Did you ever consider calling Jack?
That's the other thing. Why don't you patch things up with Jack? What people don't understand is we never even got in fights. I mean, I told somebody that in our 25 years together, we might have gotten 2 arguments. The thing that took him out was the horrible demons of addiction, and it's really affected his health. I just saw a video the other day where he's he's not even standing. He's using wheelchairs and sitting in a stool. So for us to go back to that, it just feels dark. I'd rather remember him, and because I'm very proud of our career. I'm very proud of the past. I'm so lucky to be a part of it. And I want to remember it like that, where he's flying around on stage and getting the crowds pumped and singing his heart out, not a sick person.
Right.
So going to that, see, my goal has always been to deliver the best show we can possibly deliver and have, the fans be beyond impressed. And the way Andrew sings, I really like the way he delivers the songs, because it's like what you want to hear.
Yeah.
So that's important to me. Just to have the songs, the big songs especially, be sung right and with full power. It just makes everything, it makes us play better, believe it or not.
Yep.
And so that's the whole thing with me is, I mean, there's bands out there with no original members. If you take the three of us, we've been in the band for like 120 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? Played on
it.
every record, like 13 studio albums.
Yeah.
So, apart from the bass players, I don't know what happens, but the bass player we got now has been in the band 12 years, but the bass players, it's so funny. It's like the Spinal Tap thing where they just don't show up one day. It's like, I don't even know if we've ever fired a guy. Just like, where's the bass player? One music video we did for MTV, it was called The Big Goodbye. We didn't have a bass player, so we just did the video without one, and no one ever said anything. It was hysterical, So I don't know what's up with the bass player thing. I got no answers for that, but it's not like we just want to change singers all the time. Oh, who's your singer this week?
Right.
It's just the way that worked out. But I think people are going to be genuinely happy, and for the feedback I've seen so far on the internet, you get your occasional hater, if you will, but that's fine too, because I don't think they like it anyway. but he has a lot of fans. I didn't really know that.
Oh yeah.
So I think he has really good song sense too, because I don't think anybody can learn songs that quick and not know what they're doing. So that's a good thing.
He's a professional. He's rehearsed. Absolutely comes in pro, and he's got that reputation of being a powerhouse singer and being a professional, and that's that's the ultimate right there. You got a great.
Really comes off that way too.
Alan Niven in recent years, a sixth member of the band, a writer, a producer for you guys, managing bands for a while, a long time. Recent years, when you guys had Terry Luce as a singer, and he didn't care much for that, didn't think it was a fit. Mitch Malloy didn't really care much for that, didn't see it as a fit. He was talking about Terry Glaze, the original Pantera singer. Did you consider any other people like Terry Glaze or anybody else? Any other names pass by?
I have an answer for that. Here's what's funny. It is Andrew Freeman looks a tad bit like Glaze, just a little bit, but he sings better.
Yeah.
Terry, I don't feel had the range for us. I saw a lot of live performances by him, and he seemed to be more comfortable in like the Jim Morrison range. I just couldn't envision him singing Lady Red Light and somebody, because it's very high.
Yeah.
You need to be a tenor. So I kind of got where Niven was coming from. I didn't totally disagree with him. I just didn't agree with that particular singer, even though he's a great singer.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Andrew Freeman is what he's talking about, just image-wise, grit, determination, man style, no, you know, Elvis or any kind of weird stuff. Like he can kind of glue into our music, and that's what he felt Terry would do. I just researched it a lot, and I just didn't envision him being able to sing everything, you know, full range, and only because his range was a hair limited. I'm not saying he couldn't sing higher than Morrison, but he just seemed to be very comfortable right there. Right. You know, that mid range. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. You got Andrew Freeman. He can go everywhere, and he's that bare knuckle T-shirt and jeans.
And he's a man style, you know. I mean, he delivers it like a badass dude, you know what I mean?
Totally.
And I think that's what Niven, where he was coming from. He just, you know, he's involved in the legacy in the sense, you know, he wrote lyrics and you know, really dissected our strengths. Yeah. You know, so he didn't want to see us go out with the wrong singer or whatever.
Yeah, and that's great. You know, he still has a love for this band. It's obvious.
Oh, sure. Definitely.
Yeah. You hadn't released any studio material with Mitch. I think you did start writing though, right? And some recording.
I sent him some music. He came back with a song, and it was really good. It was kind of right up his alley. It wasn't a real hard-hitting rock tune. It was more. It wasn't like Peter, Paul, and Mary or anything, you know. But it was. I would call it kind of like a pop type of a thing.
Yeah, a melodic thing. His thing.
Melodic. Yeah. And he came back with a real nice hook, and everything was cool. But, you know, like I said, the past couple of years, you know, COVID just took us out of the loop. Yeah. And then the past couple of years, we've been kind of going in opposite directions, and, you know, the brotherhood and everything. Yeah. So making music with him wasn't something that was too inviting because I didn't really know our future together. Right. Because I was just unsure. So I kept writing, and I just got abundant. Now I'm pumped like crazy. Andrew and I are on the phone every 10 minutes going, dude, when you hear this riff, you know?
Awesome.
And he has a full-on Pro Tools rig at home, so I can make music here and send it to him, and he can throw down ideas and let me hear what he's got. And we can go back and forth. We'd never make a record like that, but ideas and stuff, you know, just hashing things out.
Yeah,
we
a demo,
live a little far apart. We can work that way.
That's awesome.
And even get on Zoom like me and you are, and mess around that way too.
Yeah, it's just great. Will you write differently to fit Andrew's voice? You know, different than you would, you know, from Jack and Terry and Mitch. You know, do you see a slight change of direction, perhaps, in the terms of style for the band?
I think he can do anything, and so I'm not going to really change. One thing I've never done is sit down and go, I'm going to write a real heavy metal tune, a real super heavy tune. I just, when I get an idea and I'm inspired, I get a riff in my head and I go, God, if this goes on my guitar the way I'm hearing it in between my ears, this could be good. You know what I mean? But I got a lot of rock stuff, you know, some hit heavier than others, some up-tempo shit that's really cool. And but I really think he could sing a ballad like nobody's business. I think he does have a little bit more of a man-style delivery, though, so I don't want to get too sappy, you know. But, you know, I like to give people different looks. But the way that happens is I just write a bunch of songs, and we go, that one's good, that one's good, that one's good. And you know, that's how we get our mixture. We don't sit there and go, let's write a ballad. We need a ballad.
Right.
You know, and then write a ballad. It's just, I got so many songs to choose from. We make sure it's dynamically cool, you know.
Yeah, everything seems, and that's the one thing about Great White. It feels organic to me. It just happens organically. It's just such a real band,
Thank you.
Yeah, I've always loved it.
That's one thing that is by design, in a sense that we haven't moved with the technology. We still all get in a room, we jam. A lot of things happen from that. We could never do an album away from each other on the internet or something. We would miss so many parts because a lot of things happen. You can't believe it, that we don't even plan, and it happens in rehearsal. I'll go, what was that? Boom, dude, let's do that in that section. That was badass, but it happened by accident. So we get into a room and jam. That's a lot of stuff happens from that. We share ideas, and then we go, let's work on that idea. That's cool. That's a good riff. And then a whole song can stem from that.
Yeah, that's cool. As a fan, the Hooked album is my favorite Great White album. I love all the material, but that album it still sits with me because that's really how I feel about the band. Is songs like Cold Hearted Lovin' and Heartbreaker, and that is Great White to me. That is what I feel the essence of the band was for me. And I hear Great White glam metal, hair metal, and it's not I picture it with Bad Company and Thin Lizzy and things like that. That's how I feel Great White is, not Rat and Poison and Warrant. I just don't.
And all those bands are great too. It's just that I think what I tell journalists is, that just want to write the whole decade up as hair metal, is I don't think they're listening to us, the deep cuts, and really listening to us, because you be able to hear my blues influence. I told one journalist that my hair has never written a song. You know what I mean? It's like but the fashion, I get it. If they're talking about the fashion, I mean, the same guy made all our clothes. The same guy that made our clothes made clothes for Judas Priest, White Snake, Rat, Motley Crue. I mean, so we were all wearing similar clothes, but and our hair and everything. Everybody had the Aquanet. I never used it, but I had enough hair. The music I play, the way I write, at least, is from listening to guys like Carlos Santana, Johnny Winter, Alvin Lee, and all the guys that made me want to improve and get better, and that comes across in the music. That's why you hear the blues overtones, because that's my school. That's where I come from.
Yeah, it's evident, man. I mean, if you've listened to Great White, you know that it's not that glam metal. I mean, it's just this is a bluesy rock and roll band. Once Bitten, Twice Shy, kind of huge hit. You gotta love that. It's great. And the envelopes in the mailbox are fantastic. All that. Do you feel like it might have taken away a bit of that true essence of the band, because that's what people know?
They do, but had we not had a top 10 single with Rock Me, which was the original tune, and also the way that song happened was so unplanned. We didn't need any songs. It was just we had encounters with Ian Hunter. It's so funny.
That is
because
cool.
In 1984, our sound man was really good friends with Ian Hunter, and we needed a drum riser. So we went to his house and borrowed it out of his backyard, his drum riser, for the Priest tour. And then in 1988, we played in New York, and he came on our bus, but that still had nothing. The only thing I knew about Ian Hunter was he was in Mott the Hoople, which was an awesome band. And I loved their stuff. Never heard Once Bitten, Twice Shy in my life. And I guess Izzy, because Alan, man, his Guns and Roses, came to him with that song. you know, because we had an album called Once Bitten and then one called Twice Shy. He goes, check this song out, Once Bitten, Twice Shy, which was never a hit. It was a marginal hit, I guess, in the UK. You know, I don't know what number, some number, but no one knew it in the States, and I knew nothing about a solo career. So if we were out and short on songs, that probably wouldn't be the song we would have picked. We would have picked a song, you know, like Grand Funk Locomotion, something that was already a big hit, and then you do it your own way type thing.
Yep.
You know, we wouldn't be, hey, let's pick a song from a guy that was never a hit and put it out on the radio. You know, that wouldn't be something we'd do, you know what I mean? So it turned out great. Niven loved the lyrics. That's what sold him, because it's about being on the road. And, you know, we never went home except to wash our clothes. I mean, we would be gone. One time I left home, I was 31. When I got home, I was 33. Never even went home. We took a break. Instead of going home, we went to the Bahamas. You know, so doing that song, and we didn't even think it was going to be a single. That wasn't the intention. It was just do this cool song that talks about being on the road, you know.
Yeah.
And it turned out so good. The record company like insisted that be the single, and we thought it was cool too. We go, yeah, you know, it turned out great. Yeah, sure. I used a 335. You know, it had kind of that traditional rock, you know, traditional guitar sound, not overly distorted, more true sounding. Yeah. And so it was proper. It gave more space for the piano and you know, there wasn't distortion taking up space.
Nope.
So it was just a perfect guitar sound. And the vocal Jack did was great. We changed the hook a little bit. Instead of saying I'm once bitten, twice shy, we said my.
Right.
Got permission to do that. But as far as checks in the mail, it wasn't us getting them. It was the Ian Hunter.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. It's great. When you play a set, you got to play that, of course, and you there's some things you got to play. Is there a song in your catalog that you've always wanted to play? Like you mentioned Andrew's doing Stick It. I can't imagine. I just can't imagine Mitch doing Stick It. You know, nothing against Mitch. It's just not in his wheelhouse. You know,
he couldn't do that.
You know, so it's like a song like, you know, Highway Nights or Nightmares.
Yeah.
You know, from the first record.
We're going. We might do Stick It, and it's really for fun. And there's a lot, like maybe something else from the Street Killer or do some Highway Nights. All our options are open now.
Is there a song that you've always wanted to do that you haven't?
One we haven't done that I felt like this record kind of got lost because just the timing, you know, in the 90s when all the grunge was happening, we did an album that Jack Blaze produced called Can't Get There From Here. Yeah. And there was a few songs on there that are pretty cool, that the range is so high that it's hard for anybody we've had to even attempt it. Right. But we're going to do like Rolling Stone. Then we had another one that was supposed to be on that record, but it ended up not being. Called all kind of, I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, we're wide open, and that's what's going to be fun. You know, my favorite parts of the set are the jams that we have. We know there's going to be a jam. Where it's going to be, but we don't know how long it's going to go, and we don't know what's going to really happen. And we do that 2 or 3 times in a night, so that's exciting because we don't know what's going to happen, and depends on the crowd. You kind of bring the crowd into the show, so those are always fun because I really improvise and stuff.
Yeah,
because I kind of like to do the solos pretty close to what I did on the records. Mm-hmm. Just so people know what they're listening to.
Well, they're so lyrical too. I mean, your solos are just fantastic. You can just sing the solo too. People are singing along with your solos.
That's why I have to kind of keep it there. But like I've even heard Black Sabbath with a different drummer before. We played with Black Sabbath one time, and it's like I so miss those drum fills.
Yeah.
It's like without them, I'm going, whoa, because I remember having Black Sabbath albums and I would play air drums.
Right.
I'd be so familiar with the drum parts. It was like when they're not there, I go, wow, that's weird. And it was without that drum part, So I would never want to not play some of the solos that I do, or people might, wig out.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I start playing Eruption and Rock Me or something,
Right.
Make out, dude, you ain't nobody.
You had Michael Wagener produce the first album, of course, and the EP, but he produced Full Circle. Couple questions, I guess. Will he produce another record for you sometime, the next one or in the future? And why didn't you have him? I know you love Michael. He loves you guys. Why didn't he do, the middle section of Great White History?
I would have loved it. It's just that Niven was really hard. He really needed things his way, and he didn't really sway to anyone, So he would rather produce our own records, but
which sound great, by the way.
Yeah, they sound good. I don't know. You always question everything. Could have we done something after Twice Shy, like got a Mutt Lange or some huge producer that's gonna take us to, the Bon Jovi kind of level, you know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe let go of our egos and put it in some guy who does nothing but produce albums and does nothing but engineer the Scorpions and this, that, and the other, to where our production's just in your face and the magic dust is thrown on all your songs. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I always wonder if things would have been different if that happened, but when you're in a band, one thing is you got to compromise a lot, and things don't always go your way. So I don't really have any regrets. I mean, you always wonder, you always want to get better, you always want to improve. So I don't know. If it was totally up to me and the options were open, I would have insisted, if I was in total control, that we get some big name producer.
Yeah. Well, like I say, the Hooked album is the ultimate for me, and that was right after Twice Shy. So
true.
True. I think it's just stupendous. I think it's fantastic.
Sweet.
So
thank you.
You did a solo album. Any plans to do anything like that?
It's funny.
Something different. The 2.0.
A guy just sent me. Before I went and did that record, I went to a friend of mine who just had a home studio, and just day after day after day, I was laying down ideas after ideas, and he just sent me 3 songs that I completely forgot I did that were really good, and I can't believe I didn't put them on the record. They were better than a couple songs I put on the record. So he's gonna come over, and I'm gonna. He's a technician. I'm not,
Right.
So he's going to come over and bring his mobile stuff, and I'm going to throw down a bunch of ideas, really for Great White mostly. But I'd love to do some of the stuff that I heard that he sent me on Dropbox today.
Yeah.
Because this one hook is so good that I would just grab the same guys, because the guys I had play on that record, the bass player played drums for Tower of Power for 5 years. His name's Steve Monreal. but he's one of these guys that probably didn't play Little League baseball. You know what I'm saying? He played like piano world class.
Right.
He played bass like God, you know, like Satan. He played drums for Tower of Power. I mean, anybody that does those three things world class had no childhood whatsoever. I mean,
no doubt.
You know, so imagine this. So I'm trying to think, God, who do I want to get to play drums? And he picks the drummer, and who am I to say, oh, I don't know, dude. He played drums at Tower of Power.
Right.
You know, he's telling me this guy would be perfect. Okay.
Here we go.
Good, buddy. I don't even have to audition him. Let's just bring him down and let's do the record.
There you go. Oh, that's cool. That's cool to hear that. You know,
yeah, I think I can do better on the next one. And I do want to do it. And I've been talking about it a lot and talking about, you know, other people besides yourself have asked me about it.
Nice.
And I've been asked about it enough now to where I want to do it because I really feel I can show more, a little bit more of my skills with the guitar and make it really a guitar record with good songs though as well. But just a little more grit, you know. And I spend more times. I wrote those lyrics like in 3 days. I mean, you know, so I mean, spend a little bit more time on the songs and come up with some killer riffs. And you know, it might have been a little soft on that first one, but it was still quite the experience being, you know, singing.
Yeah. It's cool.
I got a lot of respect for people who sing because it was a damn nightmare. But I was happy with my vocal. You know, I'm not, you know, I'm not going to do any Zeppelin covers, obviously. But
it had a great vibe. I mean, a really great bluesy vibe. It was, you know, and it really, I think your voice fit your playing really well. You know, just a great vibe.
I tried to, you know, with my limited range, I mean, I'm right there with Stevie Ray Vaughan or something probably as far as vocal range. But the way I tried to deliver it was to make it believable, was really be dynamic with my delivery and try to make you believe it and actually believe it myself. Just the way I would emphasize certain words and you know, kind of pour a little soul into it.
Totally.
With my limited, you know, vocal range, but yeah,
it was excellent. I look forward to
Thank you
for sure. You know, I want to respect your time. I know you got a busy day, and you know, world's going crazy for you right now. It's exciting time. Have you ever thought about writing about all of this? You know, an autobiography, a book. You got so many life stories here.
I have 8 hours on tape with the guy. We kind of put it on hiatus, but it's funny, man. You're bringing up stuff that's been coming up currently. We're going to get together, and he's already got somebody that can do the book for me that did some old black blues artist book. It's really done well. I can't remember. Somebody like an Etta Fitzgerald type person.
Okay.
Some book. Anyways, they really can put together from me just speaking about my life and stuff.
Right.
Have it written good. You know, they don't have to I mean, get it how I'm saying it, but you know, when my slang's kind of outrageous, I put the, you know, the exclamation points in the right spot and all that, whatever. But yeah, he asked some good questions. So I was able to go through my life. And then what I want to do is go back and stuff I missed and get more into a little bit like more stories from her heyday and working with different people, what that experience was like. Like right now I'm doing a radio show, and the way I've decided to do it, I'm doing 2 hour shows. I've pre-recorded 4 shows, is I speak about the artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want people to know what they're listening to, who they're listening to.
Yes.
And why I think they're great and where they came from. And, you know, like I did a 60s show where I opened with Steppenwolf, and I want people to know that John Kay's dad died in World War II. Him and his mom were, you know, caught in the prisoner of war vibe, and they had to escape to Hamburg, and they lived in a building that was bombed and had to fix the roof. And, you know, he was just happy he got a coloring book, and, you know, and then she got remarried eventually, and they escaped to Canada, and he discovered music from a library. He used to check out songs. People need to hear that.
Yes. Yes. I love
because to me, that shows that this overnight success thing that people always talk about, I have yet to hear a story where a guy made it overnight. Everybody has some grinder's story, you know.
Yep.
And as far as somebody just getting lucky, that may be true, but usually the people that work the hardest are the luckiest.
Right.
So when you hear some of these stories where these people came from and how hard they worked, you know, it's pretty amazing. Even I can speak for my band. We were relentless, and we did a lot of starving and just fought and fought and fought. And yeah, the right guy Niven was in the crowd one night, but we put ourselves in a position for him to be there. Right. We played so much. It was insane. Eventually somebody, just by the law of math, there has to be one guy that shows up to a show that can help us.
Yeah.
And you be able to help us.
And you couldn't suck. You know what I mean? You obviously
can't suck.
Right.
No, you can't suck.
You were playing great. You were playing a lot. You know, you're working hard. That's what gets you there. You know, luck comes to the harder working guy for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome, Mark. I can't thank you enough. And I appreciate another thing. I appreciate your sobriety, the way you help people with it. You know, you are reaching out to people who need you. You're doing the Lord's work, you know, with your sobriety. And that's a special thing. And, you know,
I mean, one thing I can't do is offer any miracles, but what I have offered is encouragement, support, and my sober friendship, which, you know, people might like our music or just be inspired that I'm sober, and maybe they've been thinking about it. So I started reaching out on Facebook about 10 years ago, and I've worked with like 130 some people, one-on-one, seen a lot of success. So I just keep doing it, because when I was getting sober and in my early sobriety, I had so many people help me, you know. So it's, I guess you could call it giving back, and maybe using Facebook for more than telling people how great I am. And so yeah, I don't do it for self-perusal or anything like that. I can tell you, even though people say, hey, that's great, you help people. I'm not really doing that much. All I'm doing is saying, hey, you know, there's another life available. I promise. You know, I found that life. You should just try it for a while, because it's so much easier. It's so much less work.
Yeah.
You know, that's one thing I've noticed, man. When you're don't have to chase normal all the time, it's so much easier. You just wake up and you feel similar every day.
Yeah.
And everybody loves you. You know, your relationships go great. Your kids dig you. You know, you do things. Your energy is channeled elsewhere, something besides hurting yourself. Yeah. And it's just an awesome life, man. Yeah. We got all our partying in. I've done plenty. Yeah. And it's I really feel like I contributed plenty to my party years, and now I'm going to contribute to my sobriety years.
Yeah. It's great, man. And it's great to have you still with us. You know, I can't interview everybody because they're no longer here.
They're not out here. Yeah.
You know, and it absolutely great to have you here. And your music saves lives by itself. Now, helping people with that sobriety claim. It's just, it's really something special. We appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah,
Appreciate
absolutely.
it, man.
I'm looking
Awesome,
forward
brother.
to all of this stuff you got going on, man. So much. We got so much to look forward to. Mark,
Exciting.
God bless you, man, and I appreciate you. And I look forward to seeing you on the road.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah,
Nice talking to you, brother.
Orange
right.
Loop Fest on June 11th in Atlantic City, and many more dates at officialgreatwhite.com. Check it out. Thanks, Mark.
Awesome, bro.
All right. Take care,
Bye.
brother.